The State of Crypto is presented by Tron, connecting the world to the power of cryptocurrency.
Securities and Exchange Commission Chair Gary Gensler is pushing back against the idea that crypto exchanges could be qualified as safe qualified custodians for investment advisors. Joining us now to discuss is CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor Nick Day, who is also the editor of CoinDesk State of Crypto newsletter. And you know it's something you need to read because look at him. He's rocking the Consensus 2023 golf shirt, which I did not get. Some reason must be lost or I am not important enough. Nonetheless, welcome, Nick.
Nick's the scoop master.
He is the scoop master.
Good morning. And just one point of clarity, this is 22.
Oh, that's a 22 one. Okay, well,
22.
Yeah. Oh, well, so be it. Well, anyway. Yeah. Well, I think if you get 10 scoops like you have, you do get a free shirt. So Gensler said that at an investor advisory committee thing yesterday. What exactly did he say about crypto exchanges serving as custodians?
Yeah, so the context here is he was talking about a recently proposed SEC rule that would, if adopted, require investment advisors to custody funds with qualified custodians. And, typically these are, chartered entities. A lot of crypto exchanges have said that they believe they are qualified custodians in the wake of that proposal. What Gensler has been saying is that, literally quote, just because an exchange or trading platform says it's a qualified custodian doesn't mean it is. He's kind of pushing back on this idea that, some of these entities that are primarily chartered as money transmitting services in states could be qualified custodians, and warning that investment advisors have to use, safe companies. This is not a new refrain. He's said this before, and a lot of what it comes down to is a concern that if a company goes bankrupt, if it's a qualified custodian, it might have rules and regulations and scenarios in place where customer assets are segregated from company assets, and not going to be part of the bankruptcy estate. But if it's not a qualified custodian in that matter, what might happen is what we're seeing with Celsius and Voyager and all these other companies where the customer assets are part of the bankruptcy estate and the customers themselves have to wait for the bankruptcy process to complete before they can recover any part of their funds.
Separately, Nick, Representative Patrick McHenry and Senator Cynthia Lummis have teamed up on a letter questioning regulators about crypto accounting policy. What are the details on that?
Yeah, so this is also tied to a different SEC thing. So last year, the SEC came out with something called a Staff Advisory Bulletin number 121, which basically directed certain entities to mark crypto assets as part of their own balance sheets or being on their own balance sheets, which is slightly different from how other assets are treated. What Senator Lummis and Representative McHenry did yesterday was send a letter questioning, whether that is safe, and also asking bank regulators how they're handling this, because it is different from how they've approached it in the past. And indeed, when this SEC proposal came out last year, Fed Chair Jerome Powell even said that they have to look at that and review it because it is different from what their own precedent looks like. So we'll wait and see what the results are from that, what the regulators say.
All right. And finally, you've been monitoring that Voyager digital hearing that began yesterday and into day 2. What update do you have on that?
So this is the hearing to decide whether or not the deal for Binance US to acquire Voyager's assets will go through. It began at 10 a.m. Eastern yesterday. It ended at around 7 p.m. It will kick off again today at 10 a.m. Eastern, so in about 15 minutes or so. The judge has pushed back against some of the objections from regulators like the SEC. He explicitly told the SEC that he's not going to hold off on this deal because the SEC may have a problem, and said that there isn't enough guidance for the SEC to make a case at this point on what some of its concerns are. So, the big hurdles right now seem to be regulatory pushback, and the judge does not seem to be buying into it at this point, which suggests that the deal may get approved at the end of this hearing or after the judge has had time to review it all. But 97% of Voyager's creditors have voted in favor of the deal, and So if you're a Voyager creditor, you might receive up to 73% of your assets. And so far, all signs, again, the hearing's still ongoing, but so far, all signs seem to suggest the judge is inclined to support this.
Yeah, interesting to hear what the judge had to say. I saw that he was absolutely shocked by the SEC's objection to the deal and thought that the objection was weird, and felt that it might have been just a way for them to raise issues without ever actually really giving guidance to folks on what is a security and what's not in terms of, cryptocurrencies. All right. Thank you so much, Nick, for the update. That was CoinDesk Managing Editor of Global Policy and Regulation, Nick Day. Don't forget to sign up for the State of Crypto newsletter on CoinDesk.com.